Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my August 2022 TBR for women and translation. So this is just a pile of possibilities. I have a lot of options here. I have made a mistake this year and left everything for August, and this is stupid. I know this. I should be reading translated works throughout the year. I buy throughout the year translated works, and this year I just have not been picking them up. It's just been a really very series heavy year, and a lot of my translated works are standalones. So I should be picking them up in between things. It's just this year has not worked out that way. So I'm going to try to rectify that for the last half of the year, not counting July, since I didn't realize it until partway through July. But Women in Translation is one of my favorite monthly readathons that I like to do. I think there's a couple of people I follow, like on Instagram, I think, and maybe even Twitter. And if I have the link down below for Women in Translation. There's also a readathon going on for the week of the 8th through the 14th? Something like that. I'll have that listed down below. Put on by Kendra Winchester, Matthew Sharapa, and Jennifer at insert literary pun here. So I've done a variation on that every year. I kind of do stuff during that week, but I usually don't follow all their prompts. I have a little bit this time, but not too much. But I will be reading stuff throughout the month. They do have a buddy read as well. I have it on my Kindle because I think it was on Kindle Unlimited. So if you have that, I think it was called Field Work for Ukrainian Sex. I think something like that. I can't remember for sure. I'll have it listed down below with the other information, but I don't know if I'm going to get to that with how the way August is going to go, because I have 14 books here that I want your help in helping me choose what I should read. I am looking at all these and want to read them all, and I don't know why I put this stuff off. I should have been reading these, like all these I've been wanting to read as soon as I got them, or even from last year when I bought them. Like, it's just a lot of these I just want to get to. So I'm first going to go through all the books that are my Japanese literature. Or Japanese contemporary, and I just love Japanese contemporary novels translated. For some reason, I always have, and I just keep collecting them, and I need to read some. So let's go through those first. So Breasts and Eggs by Miko Kawakami, which is translated by Sam Bett and David Boyd. So I bought this last summer, with another book I'll talk about, and I've been meaning to buy it. I know, or read it. A lot of people have read this about two sisters, and I think one of the nieces or one of the daughters of one of them, and it's talking about women and what they should want or not want or something. So I hear this is really good, but I haven't got to that. The other one that I bought at the same time is one I'd really like to get to, is There's No Such Thing as an Easy Job by Kikuko Sumura, and this is translated by Polly Barton. So this has to do with the woman who asks for jobs that are like the easiest jobs that they can come up with, and there are problems with every single one that she gets. And again, it's just an exploration of just getting to by in the world, I think. So I do want to read that. I have The Lonely Castle in the Mirror by Mizuki Sujimura, and this is translated by Philip Gabriel. So I've heard a lot about this, about some teenagers who are homesick or at home, and then a mirror in their house will light up and they go into this castle, and then I think they have to try to get back. I'm not sure. I don't know a lot about it. I've just heard weird things about this, but I am interested in this one. The Last Children of Tokyo by Yoko Tawada. This was translated by Margaret Mitsutani. So this is an author I know her name for, but I've not read anything by her. And I don't remember what this one's about. Oh, this is about an older man who is looking back, and I think talking to somebody younger than him about things that happened and the way the world ended or went wrong. It's short, so I thought I'd put that in here, but that's another book I have. Then Nakano Thrift Shop by Hiromi Kawakami is one I've had on my list. I think I've had this on my TBR for the last couple of years. This is translated by Alison Markham Powell. I've read several of her other books. I'm about 50-50 on the ones I liked and didn't like. Strange Weather in Tokyo is still my favorite by her. But I would like to read this one. It's been on my shelf for at least 3 years, maybe more. And it has to do with a store with people there. And I don't remember much about it. It says a young woman who's a pretty inexperienced woman who's working there, and she likes one of her co-workers, but I think it's just the relationship of everybody in the store or people who come in. I'm not quite sure, but again, another one. And then The Little House by Yoko Nakajima, and this is translated by Ginny Tapeli Takamori. So this one is about a woman looking back on her time, like an older woman looking back in the 1930s of living in this house with this family. And that's about all I remember about this one. I don't know anything else. So those are all, but this one I do want to mention is another author. I do have a couple of books by her, by Yuko Tsushima. I have Child of Fortune. I have Of Dogs and Walls, and I just got The Woman Running in the Mountains, which I forgot to pull down. But I have several by her. One of the prompts for Women in Translation Readathon is to read by somebody you've read before. And I've read Territory of Light by her, which I really enjoyed. So I do have these two as well. So these are a couple little short stories, and then this is one about a woman who has an 11-year-old daughter. And she's already kind of looked down because she's a single mom. And then she has an affair and gets pregnant. And then she's dealing with the pregnancy and her 11-year-old child who she doesn't get along with very well. So anyway, there's those. So those are all the Japanese ones that I have, or written in Japanese. All those options. So if any of those are like for sure you think I should read, let me know. So another one that I have read before that I'd like to read another section of is I want to read Youth by Tove Divoldsen. This was translated by Tina Nunny and Michael Pavala Goldman. I always have trouble with that. I just realized I didn't tell you who translated the Yugo. Just real quick. That was Geraldine Harcourt. Sorry. So anyway, so this is a memoir of Tove Divoldsen. I read Childhood last year, and it was heartbreaking. It was hard to read for me. And so Youth, I think this just gets worse. And again, talking about her life in Copenhagen. And so I'm not sure what happens. It's about 125 pages for for Youth. So I'd like to read that. Hopefully this is like maybe, I don't know. We'll see. So that one I'd kind of like to read. But I've read, as I said, I was trying to split it up so I don't read it all at once. So I thought if I read Youth this year, then I can read Dependency next year. But we'll see if I get to it. And then I have some books that are all different languages because I need to read more than just Japanese. But I do have a tendency to buy mostly Japanese translations. So I have The Stray Cats of Holmes. So this is, I can't remember what language. This was translated, I can't remember what language. If it's French, this might be French, by Ava Noor. And this is translated by Agnes Broom. So this is following kind of a true story. It's based on true events of a boy in Syria, and I think living dealing with family and playing with his stray cats and stuff on the roof, and then the war breaks out and things. So anyway, so this looks sad, but I pre-ordered this book last year, so I really should read this one. I've had that. This is one I pre-ordered this year, a bookshop in Algiers by, I forgot to look this one up, Kauthar Ademi. And this is translated, maybe this one was, don't remember. I think I had the wrong, I don't know what language that was. Sorry. I think this is the French one. Yeah, this is for the French by Chris Anderson. So this is kind of based on true stories. Another one, or, you know, so this one is talking about a man who starts a bookshop in Algiers in 1936. And then it talks about a young man, present day or many years later, who after the shop has been around for so long is closing, I think. And so it's kind of a telling about that and talking about the people who came to it. It looks really quick and easy, but again, I said I pre-ordered this, so it's another one I should read. I have The Phone Booth at the Edge of the World by Laura Imali Messina, I think. And this was translated from the Italian by Lucy Rand, but it takes place in Japan, which is why I bought it. So it has to do with this phone booth that's, I think, out, I guess, on some hill that overlooks the sea. And it's this, you can like talk to people who I think have passed or something like that. So I don't know enough about that, but again, that's another book I bought a while ago that I should read. I also have Soviet Milk by Nora Istina. And this is one I bought because of BookTube. I saw people reading this one. This was translated from the Latvian by Margarita Galates. And this is about a doctor who is forced to, I think she's trying to do something, but she's forced to do something else because she's a doctor. I don't remember. Something about the state steps in and takes away stuff. I'm not sure. But I remember a lot of people reading this a couple years ago. I bought it then. I haven't read it yet. Should I pick this up? And then the last one is The Strange Monsters of China by Yin Ji. This is translated from the Chinese, I believe, by Jeremy Tiano. And this one has to do with an amateur cryptologist who is commissioned to uncover the stories of fabled beasts. And that's about all I know. It just sounded so cool. So I have all these books, way too many books. And I don't know what I should read. So I want you guys to tell me what you think. If you've read any of them, or if there's any ones you think I definitely should read. I will probably read the Tove Davidson Youth, just because I'm trying to get through that memoir. But everything else is up for grabs. I could go either way. What do you guys think? Which one should I pick? I need help. So help me pick a couple of books for my Women in Translation, and we will see what happens. So that's it. Are you guys doing Women in Translation? Women in Translation readathon? What are you doing? What are you reading? Anything good? Let me know, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.